In a big and busy village called Ofu, there was a man named Mr. Ibuka. Everyone in the village knew him. He was rich, strong, kind, and always helped people. People called him the great man of Ofu. He had many cars, a big house, and 3 lovely children. His wife had died many years ago in an accident, but he never forgot her. One day, Mr. Ibuka told his family and friends something that shocked everyone. "I want to marry again," he said. "I have found someone I love." Everyone was happy except one person, his uncle, Mr. Kano. Mr. Kano was an old man who always smiled in front of people but had bad plans in his heart. He did not want Mr. Ibuka to marry again, especially not the new woman he loved. The woman's name was Sister Rose. She was full of life, curvy, beautiful, and respectful. She sold gold and perfume in the market, and many men wanted her. But she said yes only to Mr. Ibuka. People talked everywhere. "Did you hear? Mr. Ibuka is marrying Amaka. That woman with hips like mountain. She is lucky." But behind all the laughter, Mr. Colonel was angry. "This marriage must not happen," he said to himself. The wedding was coming close. Ibuka bought clothes for his children, invited people from other towns, and hired the best band to play drums and songs. Amaka's family was full of joy. She danced every night with her sisters, happy to join a great man's home. But Mr. Colonel had a dark plan. He called a woman named Madame Tina. She was the cake maker in the village. "Madame Tina," he said, "I want to pay you well." "What for?" she asked. "For the wedding cake. Make it big. Make it colorful. But let it look like a snake. A big one. A snake." Madame Tina shouted. "Why? Just do it," he said. "I will pay you 1 million naira." Madame Tina thought for a moment. She was poor. Her roof was leaking. She had no money to send her children to school. "I will do it," she said slowly. The wedding day came. The hall was full. Music filled the air. Women in shiny lace. Men in agbada. Children dancing. Ibuka wore a black suit. Amaka wore a white wedding gown. She looked like a queen. Everyone clapped and shouted, "Odogu Ibuka. Long life to the king and queen." The ceremony went well. The pastor prayed. They kissed. They danced. Everything was perfect. Then came the moment to cut the cake. People turned to look at the stage. Then they saw it. The wedding cake. And everyone froze. "What is that?" someone shouted. The cake was tall, beautiful, and full of colors, but on the top it looked like a real snake. The head was open with sharp teeth. The eyes were red. The body curled around the cake like a big python. People screamed. Some ran. "Snake! Snake on the cake!" Children cried. Women shouted. Even Ibuka dropped the knife. Amaka screamed and held his hand. "What is this?" Mr. Ibuka stood still, his eyes wide open. Mr. Colonel watched from the back of the hall. He smiled secretly. Madame Tina stood near the wall. Her heart beat fast. "What have I done?" she whispered. "It was just a cake, but now people are afraid." Ibuka turned to his best friend, Mr. Toby. "Who brought this cake? Who told them to design a snake?" Mr. Toby said, "You ordered it through your uncle, remember? He said he knew the best cake woman." That's when Ibuka turned around and saw Mr. Colonel standing with a wicked smile. He began to walk towards him. People watched in silence. Ibuka pointed at him. "Uncle, did you plan this?" Mr. Colonel laughed. "So what if I did?" The whole went silent. "You want to marry a woman with body like yam? You forgot your late wife too quickly. I only wanted to remind you that snakes hide in pretty things." Suddenly, Ramaka's father stood up. "Mr. Colonel, that is wickedness. If you did not want the marriage, you should have spoken." People shouted at him. They called him a jealous man. He tried to defend himself, but everyone saw his true face. The pastor stood up and shouted, "Let us pray over this cake. We will not let fear spoil this day." They all joined hands. They prayed. The cake was cut. It was just flour and sugar. But the message had already shaken the people. That evening, Vibuka sat quietly with Amaka in the room. "I'm sorry," he said. "I never expected my own uncle to plan such." Amaka smiled. "At least now you know who truly loves you." Outside, people still talked about the snake cake wedding. Some laughed, some worried. But deep inside, Mr. Colonel was planning something worse. And Madame Tina. She had collected her 1 million naira. But her heart was heavy. "I should go and tell the truth," she said. And that night, someone knocked on her door. It was Amaka. Madame Tina's hands were shaking. She looked at the door. Amaka was standing there in her white wrapper. Her face looked calm, but her eyes were sharp. "Good evening, Madame Tina," Amaka said. "Good evening, my daughter," Tina answered. "Can I come in?" Yes, please." Amaka stepped into the small room. The place smelled of sugar, milk, and fear. Madame Tina's 2 children were sleeping on the mat in the corner. "I want to talk to you," Amaka said, sitting on a stool. Madame Tina sat down too. Her fingers rubbed her wrapper nervously. "Madame Tina, please be honest with me," Amaka said softly. "Did my husband's uncle ask you to make that snake cake?" Tina swallowed hard. Tears filled her eyes. "Yes," she said. "I'm sorry." "Why?" Amaka asked. "Why would you do that to us?" Tina stood up and went to her cupboard. She brought out a small brown envelope and gave it to Amaka. "He paid me 1 million naira," Tina said. "My roof is leaking. I have not paid my children's school fees. I was hungry. I needed the money." Amaka looked at her. She was not angry. She just felt sad. "Did you know the cake would scare people?" "No," Tina said. "He only said make it look like a snake. I thought it was just for design. I didn't know people would cry and run." Amaka looked at the sleeping children. One of them had mosquito bites on his arm. She stood up and gave the envelope back to Tina. "Keep the money," she said. "Use it to fix your roof and send your children to school. But please, never do this again." Tina broke down in tears. "I'm sorry. I'm so sorry." Amaka smiled gently. "Next time, use your hands for good. Your cake work is fine. You can be the best cake maker in this town. Don't spoil it with bad secrets." Then Amaka left. The next day, everyone was talking about what happened at the wedding. Children in the village were playing snake cake with sand. Even the town newspaper had a big headline. "Shocking snake cake stuns guests." Mr. Ibuka went to the king's palace. The king of Ofu was a tall man with white hair and a deep voice. He respected Ibuka a lot. "My king," Ibuka said, "I need your help." "What is wrong, my son?" Ibuka told him everything. How Mr. Colonel had planned the snake cake to shame the wedding. The king was angry. "That old man is spoiling our village name," he shouted. "He must face the elders." That same evening, the village elders sat under the big iroko tree. Mr. Colonel was called to stand before them. The oldest elder, Baba Ted, looked at him and said, "Why would you shame your nephew's wedding?" Mr. Colonel tried to lie. "I was only trying to send a message." "Message of what?" shouted another elder. "That love is bad. That a man cannot marry again after his wife dies." Mr. Colonel started to sweat. The elders gave him punishment. He would sweep the village square for 2 weeks. And he must beg Amaka and Ibuka in public. That day, Mr. Colonel's pride fell down like old yam. The days passed. Amaka and Ibuka moved into their big house. The children loved her. She cooked for them, helped with homework, and told them bedtime stories. But something strange began to happen. Every night, Amaka would wake up around midnight. She would hear hissing sounds outside their window. She looked outside, but saw nothing. The third night, she saw it. A small black snake crawling slowly across the garden. She woke Ibuka. He ran outside with a stick, but the snake had disappeared. "What is happening?" she asked. "I don't know," he said. "But we will find out." They called a wise man named Baba Nedi. He was known for helping people with strange problems. Baba Nedi came to the house, walked around it, and then sat down quietly. He looked at Amaka and said, "My daughter, someone has planted a shadow against your joy." "A shadow?" she asked. "Yes. The snake on your wedding cake is not just flour. It was a sign. A door has been opened. But we will close it." He gave them some special water and herbs. "Boil this. Wash the floor of your compound. Pray. Do not fear." They followed his words. But that night, something worse happened. The power in the house went off. The generator stopped working. The fan stopped turning. This time, it was louder. From the children's room. Amaka screamed, and the children. They ran in. And there, near the window, was the snake. Long black. Shiny. It raised its head and looked at them. Its eyes were red just like the cake. Ibuka grabbed a cutlass. With one loud shout, he hit the snake. Twice. 3 times. The snake vanished just like smoke. Baba Nedi came the next morning. He listened to everything. "This is not an ordinary snake," he said. "Someone has tied your happiness with a charm. The snake is not real, but it can harm." Ibuka said, "What do we do?" Baba Nedi smiled. "We fight back. With truth. With faith. And with wisdom." He told them to fast for 3 days. And to speak to the cake maker again. The next morning, Madame Tina came to their house. "I have something to confess," she said. "What is it?" Amaka asked. Madame Tina looked at her feet. "The day I made the cake, your uncle gave me a charm. He said I should bury it inside the middle layer of the cake. I didn't want to, but he forced me." Ibuka's eyes became red with anger. "So you buried a charm inside the wedding cake?" he asked. Tina nodded. "It looked like dry black leaves tied with red thread. He said it would bring sweet surprises. I was a fool." Ibuka turned away and clenched his fists. Amaka walked to Tina and touched her hand. "Thank you for telling us the truth," she said. Now the battle had just begun. Baba Nedi listened carefully to Madame Tina's confession. "So the charm was inside the cake?" he asked. "Yes," Tina said, crying. "Please forgive me. I was desperate." Baba Nedi stood up and lifted his hand toward the sky. "This is why the snake keeps coming. The charm inside the cake was not just evil, it was meant to stop happiness, to break love." Everyone was quiet. "Can we stop it?" Ibuka asked. "Yes," Baba Nedi said. "But you must be strong." He told them to bring 7 white candles, 1 white chicken, a big clay pot, and clean river water. That night, under the moonlight, they gathered in the center of the compound. Baba Nedi stood in the middle with his staff. He lit the candles. The flames danced in the wind. Then he poured the river water into the clay pot and said some prayers in a low, deep voice. "Love that is clean must shine. Let no darkness enter. Let no charm remain. Let peace fill this home." He splashed the water around the compound. Smoke rose from the ground. The wind blew. Then a shadow moved near the mango tree. The black snake came again. But this time, it was slow. It hissed once and moved toward the candle. As it reached the white chicken, Baba Nedi lifted his staff and shouted, "Let light swallow darkness." The snake lifted its head to strike, but before it could move, the wind grew strong. A bright flash filled the yard. The snake burst into ashes. After that night, everything changed. The children stopped having nightmares. The compound became peaceful. Flowers began to grow at the gate. Amaka became popular for her kindness. Many women came to her for advice. Madame Tina opened a real cake shop. She called it Sweet Truth Cakes. She no longer made cakes with lies. She made cakes for birthdays, baby showers, weddings, but only with clean hands. Even Mr. Colonel became quiet. He stopped gossiping and spent his time in the farm. One day, Rebuka stood in front of the church and gave a speech to young people who wanted to marry. He said, "Marriage is not a show. It is not for pride or beauty alone. It is a journey. A journey of truth, love, and trust. Never let people decide your happiness. And never try to destroy another person's joy, because whatever you plant, you will harvest." The church clapped. Amaka held his hand and smiled. They were strong together. Not because of money. Not because of looks. But because they stood for truth. And fought for love. Listen carefully. Marriage is not about beauty, shape, or money alone. Marriage is about trust, truth, and respect. Before you marry, know the heart of the person, not just the face. And never allow jealousy or evil plans to destroy you. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel for more story.